The appellate court saw that case and said, garbage, and they threw it out and said, let that case be held over again under a different judge. And so Dahene Nonaude will not get that money. She will not be entertained on slack by the courts of this country. This is foolishness, and the appellate court says, no, we're not doing it. And so they invalidated the ruling of Ruth Dowell, and so now Dahene Nonaude has to go back to court to try to fight to get a couple dollars. I know it will not be $500,000, because it got to be at your flicking mind. Got to be. And so, and then we have another situation where Basinski Sweden has a Bahamian passport, and Basinski, but Basinski Sweden's passport says he was born in Haiti. And so you have a bunch of Bahamians who are now questioning how Basinski Sweden, because that's his last name, came into possession of a Bahamian passport in the first place, being born in Haiti. But like I told them when I saw the post, I said I need to know more on this story, because I need to know, before I comment on it and get crazy, I want to really know what's Basinski's connection to the Bahamas. Now, as you know, a lot of these people have been going around applying for name change, doing all sorts of things, and saying all sorts of things to manipulate this process, where they've been doing name changes. Persons have been helping them. Luby Georges has been given a JP position where he can help them and make sure sign off on their papers and get them straight in the Bahamas. It's a whole thing. Frankie Florida, and say we're stupid. Frankie Florida has an open door policy with the Prime Minister, so he could just walk right in. And so, yeah, while Bahamians are being tossed aside. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. On our side of things, our MP, Clay Sweeting, who's in charge of ministry work, says the demolition notices have been issued for shanty towns on Eleuthera, Andros, New Providence, and other areas. He says that so unregulated task force, the unregulated task force has conducted interviews in Tarpon Bay, Palmetto Point, Blackwood, and Russell Island. So Clay Sweden said, guess what? We knocking the people's houses down if they're not here illegally, of the construction team meeting the requirements. We're knocking them down, and so that battle continues to go on. So he says the demolition notices have been issued, and in a short time, the bulldozers are going to be starting up, and these things are coming down. All right. While that is happening in the Bahamas, in Turks and Caicos, the government has banned Haitians. In Turks and Caicos, while the Bahamas living it good, doing foolishness, the government has banned Haitians in Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos had its first ever mass shooting where I think about 10 persons were shot and 3 persons died. And it is claimed that the Haitians were responsible for this tragedy in Haiti. Sorry, in Turks and Caicos. And so the Turks and Caicos authorities has placed a 6-month moratorium on the issuance of work permits and visitor visas for Haitian nationals. They are not allowing them to come in for any reason.